You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
It is time once again to enjoy a critical hit adventure. Now, if you remember what I said last week, Drifters is currently taking an extended break. Kevin just started a new job in the middle of COVID, and things are going insane for him. So we're giving him a break so he can acclimate to his new job. We'll be back to continue the Drifters adventures, although if you did listen to last week's episode, you know what a freaking cliffhanger to end that season on, or to end that portion of the season. In the meantime, we do have a bunch of other games coming up. This week, Rodrigo is running a game, and it's a lot of fun. It's a Fate game. You'll instantly kind of know what kind of theme he and everyone else is going for in this adventure. That's really cool. Next week, Brian, or not next week, 2 weeks from now, Brian comes in and will start a Sentinels of the Multiverse RPG game set in the Modern City universe. And then after that one runs, Dr. Brad will be in to do a thing, and it's going to be just a lot of fun. And I hope that you stick with us for some really exciting storytelling, some role-playing, learning different mechanics of different systems. That's what I'm here for, and I hope that you are too. But listen, I've got a lot of plans for 2022. I've already talked before about we want to hire a content manager here at Major Spoilers to oversee social media, to help out with content on the website, to appear in podcasts and a whole lot of other places. We're working on that right now. I would also in 2022 like to hire an editor who would not only work on the audio portion of the podcast, but also be available to edit our Munchkinland videos and any other videos that we do here at Major Spoilers. Many of you have been asking for us to at least finish out the couple of games that we have in the can. I just don't have time to sit down and edit, which is why we need an editor. And this is where you come in. This last week, we had a couple of really cool people, Justin and James, who became new patrons over at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. We have some Patreon goals specifically set up for our content manager and an editor, but there's also other goals along the way, like Critical Hit 2 weeks early, 3 weeks early, a new Critical Hit show. In fact, I've been spending some time planning on, I've got the first draft of 6 podcasts complete, 6 of them. Some of them are going to be potentially new podcasts that you'll hear on the Major Spoilers Podcast Network. Others might be Patreon exclusives, 5th edition. But we need your help in order to make all of these things happen. So if you've got $5 that you can spare per month, $5 a month, become a silver level patron today, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Let's take a big step forward in 2022. You'll help yourself when you become a patron over at patreon.com/Major Spoilers. You'll get access to Critical Hit a week early, character sheets, the GM roundtable, so that you can be a better GM for not only yourself, but your players. A whole bunch of other stuff too. It's waiting for you. Patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Now let's go venture into the Magic Forest. Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. I think we have an interesting treat for everyone. Rodrigo is taking us to a magical land far away. And for those of you who've been listening to the Top 5 podcast, and you listen to our Top 5 hopes for 2022, we've already got one strike on our list. Down, Rodrigo. down. So let's hope all the rest of our hopes for 2022 come to pass as well.
Yeah, I do think that I didn't mean I'd like to do a one shot for Critical Hit as an emergency.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Yeah, it counts. We're gonna count it. All right, so
we're gonna count it. So what are we doing? What are we doing this time?
On critical hit.
On Critical Hit. There you go. It's a little slow on the uptake. We've been off for a couple of weeks. I understand.
So we're gonna play Fate. Fate Accelerated, which we've played on the show before. Basically, the core idea of Fate Accelerated is you have these approaches, and whenever you roll these thing called Fate dice, or as we old fogies just like to call them, fudge dice, because that's what they used to be called. And they have basically they have zeros, minuses, and pluses. Every plus you roll is a +1, every minus is a -1, and every blank is a 0. So if you and then you add a modifier. So if your modifier is +3, but you roll 3 minuses and a 0, you're back to 0, right? If your modifier is a 1 and you roll 2 pluses and 1 minus, then your roll is a 2, right? That's the core of the engine. On top of that, we have a handful of things. So you have aspects. Aspects are another very important part of the game. Basically, aspects are descriptive text that can also be tagged with these things called fate points. You all get a certain amount of fate points to start with, and you can also accrue fate points throughout a session. Aspects generally can go either way. They can be tagged for positive things, or they can be tagged to penalize you or to compel you to do something. And you can always decide not to do something that someone compels with your aspect. But if you do it, basically, if you allow yourself to be compelled, then you get a fate point, right? So frequently, the way to gain fate points is to kind of indulge in the things that your character is into, or the things that they can't help very much. If you look at the documents I sent you, those are basically your character sheets. Character sheets in Fate are very simple. So you'll see that you'll have your approaches, followed by a high concept, a trouble, and an aspect. The high concept and the trouble are also aspects. They're just specifically things that the game asks for. You can always spend fate points to tag those if you are trying to get a little bit of a boost. Anytime you tag an aspect, you get a +2 to your roll. Now, they have to fit, right? If the aspect you're trying to tag loves classic cars, and there are no classic cars to be found anywhere in the scene, then it's going to be a tougher ask for you to get that bonus, right? A lot of rolls are going to be contested, so if you roll against someone else, they're also going to roll with fudge dice plus their bonus. When we get into combat, generally you are going to, if you're attacking, you're going to want to load up on aspects and triggers and stuff by spending points before you roll. If you're defending, you get to, I'm basically to keep things from being a back and forth escalating arms race. Attackers will have to build up their attack before the roll, and once that's declared, the defender can decide how much saws are going to put into it, and then they can roll. There are re-rolls. You can also tag an aspect to re-roll sometimes, but this is all kind of stuff that's included. The game is very narrative. When you get into success and failure, that's not like combat success and failure. It's very much a you succeed or you succeed with consequences, or if you fail, you can decide to fail, or you can decide to succeed with severe consequences, right? So you always kind of have that option to kind of fail forward. What else? Any major things? There's more specifics to combat, but we can get into that if and when a fight breaks out.
Yeah, I don't think I have any questions about the mechanics, although I should point out that Fate Accelerated is super accessible. If you need to, you can get the Fate Accelerated handbook. It's like $5. It's super, super cheap. We also have, I'll put in the show notes, a link to our drive-through RPG affiliate if you would like to pick up Fate Accelerated for yourself. And a little kickback comes our way as well. But it is a super handy little guide. It's maybe 25. It's I guess it's more than 25 pages. It's like 45 pages. And it's super easy to get through. So there's also cheat sheets that you can find online. So keep that in mind too.
Oh yeah. The other thing that I need to talk about is stunts. Stunts are basically your powers or your abilities. And they tend to operate in sort of narrow margins. And a lot of them care about combat. Some of them are specifically combat stunts. Some of them can apply in and out of combat, and some of them specifically apply not in combat, right? So it just depends on the wording. There are only 4 actions in Fate Accelerated. Attack, defend, overcome, or create an advantage. So generally speaking, when you think about like skill checks, those are going to be overcome checks, right? You're trying to get through something, get over something, get past something. So that's what overcome is. Creating an advantage is a very important part of Fate. Your characters have a huge ability to affect the environment, to affect each other, to affect opponents, to affect situations. So when in doubt, create an advantage, right? If you're having trouble accomplishing something, if an enemy seems too powerful, create an advantage or try to spot an advantage or spot an aspect that is either already present in the scene or that the opponent has or something. Okay, that's probably it for how the game works. Is that clear? Do I need to clarify anything?
No, that sounds good. I'll probably have some questions as we go, but
sure.
I should point out, this is Sam's first time playing Fate. Ooh.
Yeah, thank you for running this on such short notice, Rodrigo. I'm excited to play.
Oh, sure. I will point out, when you look at your stunts, some of you have stunts that specifically say at the beginning of an encounter. That's when they trigger. So you got to remember, if you get into a fight or you get into some sort of tense encounter, those happen at the very beginning. If you forget, we might be able to dial it back or we might not, depending on what's happened. But make sure you keep an eye on that.
So should I see any abilities on my character sheet?
Yeah, if you roll down under stunts.
Your character sheet is the document I sent you.
I should probably look at that.
On your on the thing here on Roll20, it's just a skeleton.
Thank you. That's what I was looking at the Roll20 sheet. Okay. Now I am no longer confused.
Yeah, this was a last minute thing. So if we had the time to properly bring the characters into Roll20, Roll20 does come with a Fate Accelerated and a Fate system that you can build as a template and put in your characters that way. So keep in mind, for those of you who use Roll20, it is Fate compatible.
Yeah, so that's Fate. Let's talk about this specific game. So this game takes place in a sort of a village, like a large village or a small city inside a magical forest. The majority of the characters are part of a race of small magical humanoids named Hoplets. These Hoplets live in a town known as Hopleton, which is in the middle of this forest. And there is some hubbub and commotion about the town. Each of your characters has either been given a summons or has somehow been told to report to the baker, to the bakery first thing in the morning. So the buildings here in Hopleton are all much smaller than they would be in a human city. I'm thinking hoplets are probably about 3 feet tall. There might be some that are slightly taller than that, but the majority of them are kicking around, like the adults are kicking around that size. So everything is sort of scaled down. And it's like if somebody needs to like get around town, they're probably more likely to like hop on a goat than any sort of horse, for example. So yeah, each of your characters is given a summons to report to the baker first thing in the morning. Again, the bakery is a pretty large building because it's got ovens and all this other stuff. In general, this is the sort of town where there's only one person doing any given job. So even though everybody has names, everybody also kind of knows each other by their jobs. So, for example, the baker, everybody knows the baker as the baker. He has a name, but whenever they talk about him, most people just refer to him as the baker. The baker is a pretty fit hoplet, a very eligible bachelor still, even though he's a little older. You can know the baker because he wears a tall chef's hat and has kind of mutton chops. Also present at the bakery, along with the baker, is the mayor of Hopleton, who you can recognize because he has a big curly mustache and wears a sash that says mayor. Also, presumably present before anybody else gets there would be the baker's apprentice. So I believe Steven's playing the baker's apprentice.
I am playing the baker's apprentice, a.k.a. Barry McMuffin is his name.
Okay.
And he's very busy this morning because obviously if the mayor has called a meeting, then the mayor's going to want snacks. And so Barry is very busy laying out little cakes, little donuts for everybody as they're coming in, and also making sure that there's a large container of both the bitter brew and the lemonade ready for anyone who wants to have a drink.
Okay. Any distinctive characteristics?
You can tell that he's the baker's apprentice because he's got one of those chef's hats that kind of lays down flat to the side instead of standing straight up. Yep. And he has around his belt, always at the ready, a series of little pouches that contain spices and baking ingredients like flour or sugar or salt or pepper. Those kinds of things are, baking soda. It's all at the ready on this little belt that he wears around him.
Or aside for the baker's apprentice, who would be the next person to show up? Who's punctual?
Not I.
Okay.
Not me.
Okay. Well, I guess that leaves us with probably Sam and Rob showing up at the same time. So, Sam, why don't you tell us about your character?
So my character is the ranger. So she looks a little bit more, I guess, probably disheveled by Hoplet standards from spending a lot of time in the woods. Probably dressed in comfortable clothes, like maybe tough boots, and has probably some like leaves sticking out of her, maybe some flowers too, and is sniffing the baked goods approvingly, but also has probably munching on some dried fruit or something that she'd also brought from having picked from the forest, and maybe brings a little bit of basket of berries of fresh pick to the baker to make into scones of some sort.
Okay. Do you have a name for the ranger? If you don't right now, it's fine. We can come up with it later.
Yeah, I'll come up with one later if that's all right.
That's fine. All right, Rob.
As the ranger steps into the bakery and starts sniffing, a little red squirrel pops up on her shoulder and just takes a big sniff and starts looking around excitedly at all the pastries.
Okay. Rob, I suppose you get to decide. You can be a talking squirrel, or you can be a non-talking squirrel. What do you think?
Non-talking squirrel. Not-talking squirrel.
It's it is tough but rewarding to play a character who can't talk. But it can get tough. This is a one-shot though, so if you're gonna try it, this might be the time to try it.
Also, this is an audio podcast, so
yeah. So I'd maybe recommend talking, but totally your call.
Well, you can describe what your character does.
I'm gonna go with non-talking.
Okay. Do you have does the squirrel have a name?
Sam? Any ideas?
Squirrely McSquirrel face.
How about Raspberry?
Okay.
Good morning, Ranger. Hello, Raspberry. And I toss a raspberry to the squirrel.
Good morning, Mr. McMuffin.
Oh, you can just call me Barry.
Oh, Barry then. Do you know what this is about?
I have no idea, but I'm sure that the mayor has everything thought out and planned out, and this is going to be a big event, and I'm sure it will bring a lot of great people into this fine bakery establishment.
All right. Let's probably the next to arrive will be Matthew's character. So why don't you tell us about your character, Matthew?
It should be noted that I watched a certain movie this week, just definitely affecting my costuming thoughts. But I'm thinking kind of a big, goofy red robe that's supposed to look really, really, sagacious and magic-y, but it just kind of looks oversized with gold trim that ends up being kind of smudged with smoke and soot from the things exploding like they do. Yeah, the Mystic actually has a last name that he's not proud of, but most people just know him as Kenny Kablam because things tend to explode and burst into flame when he is around. And so he no longer has to carry the shame of Kenny Snot Pockets. So he's actually kind of fine with that. I don't know, where you said like 3 apples high, 3 feet, 3 feet tall.
Yeah, about 3 feet tall. I don't know if there are any other distinguishing features of hoplets. I don't know if they have like pointy ears or I don't know, compound eyes. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely clean shaven, compound eyes, little pointy wizard hat with moons and stars on it and a tassel on top. Matching, but slightly more singed than the robes. And if he were to take off his hat, which he almost never does, he has hair that looks remarkably like the Bob's Big Boy mascot. So that's fun.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then once the Mystic arrives, the mayor...
What did I miss?
Oh, nothing yet. Hello, wizard. I noticed that your robes still have no pockets. So here, have a muffin.
Oh, thank you.
The mayor looks like he's about getting ready to talk and tell you all what this is about when Brian's character shows up.
All right. And stumbles sleepy-eyed looking hoblet. He wears threadbare and heavily patched coveralls and a flannel shirt, barefoot with a curly mop of matted hair atop. And, hey, y'all, need some help here? Is there is too much bread being made? Need some help eating it?
There's a fine spread right over here.
Oh, excellent. I'll help myself.
Brian, do you have a name for your character?
He'll be Clyde. Clyde Clovis.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go with Autumn Leaf.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Is that everybody's name?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so.
The mayor seems briefly flustered at the appearance of Clyde, but then gathers his composure and says, "Well, I have a very special assignment for you all, and honestly, I wasn't counting on Clyde being here, but I think it'll do him some good to put his mind to something. We or our baker here had a request from the human kingdom at the edge of the forest to make a very special cake, which he has been working on for the past couple of days, and now it's ready, and I need you all to deliver it. Of course, our ranger is quite necessary for this. The baker asked us to have Barry come along in case the cake needs anything on the way there, and because he knows what sort of moisture and conditions it needs to be kept on there. Our mystic, this is an important mission, so we wanted to make sure that you went along, Kenny. We thought you might be able to both provide insight and protection in case anything happened.
Happy little sorrow.
There's some angry squeaking.
Oh, yes. Also, happy to see you as well, Raspberry. Let's have a look
Autumn nods.
Yep. Let's go into this room here, and the baker opens a big set of double doors, and you are led into a room where there is a large box. I mean, this is a huge cake. Like, it's a huge cake for people. So for you guys, it just seems massive. It's, it's not like a multi-story wedding cake, but it is like an enormous disc. It's in a box of thin wood. There's some paper lining the bottom, sort of like wax paper, I guess, maybe. I don't know much about cakes, so if somebody is like, I would never put wax paper under a cake, then that's fine. Just imagine that I said something more reasonable. It is a large.
Seems pretty reasonable.
It's a large white cake, or the frosting is white, and it is decorated in exquisite pink, blue, and white flowers along the edge of basically the top of it. The flowers are very little. They're very well made, obviously made out of frosting. And not much else as far as decoration, but it makes the cake look really classy. There is a definite, when the cake is revealed, there's a definite swell of pride from the baker and the mayor, who had potentially already seen it, but is now seeing it again, kind of like seems like surprised at it, partially because it's so big and also because it's a really good looking cake. The mayor says, well, here it is. If you need to do any last minute preparations, then by all means, but the sooner you leave, the sooner you'll get through the forest, and the sooner you'll be able to deliver this. Well, let's go.
Looking forward to representing the bakery in the kingdom.
Good. Yes, thank you for helping your community. On his way out, he looks at Autumn Leaf and says, "Make sure to keep an eye on Clyde," and then he leaves.
Well, we should probably load this up onto the cart and be on our way with haste.
Oh, cart's not going to be able to get through the forest. you're
Oh,
gonna
uh,
you're gonna have to carry this.
well, that's gonna be a little bit tricky navigating the forest, but well, I guess Barry, he's not big enough to carry it himself, right?
No, it very much needs two people, at least two hoplets to be carried.
All right. How about Barry, Clyde, and Raspberry? You stay on top and make sure that the weight is distributed evenly between the two of them.
Okay. Come on, Clyde. Pick up that end.
I suppose. Yeah, he hunkers down and.
Mayor's counting on you.
Yeah, it's like it's not like extremely heavy, but it's something definitely.
All right.
Okay, and you guys just head out.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I suppose.
Okay,
I'll grab some baked goods for the journey.
Sure. You guys load up on carbs, which is great when you're doing some traveling. As you start to make your way to the edge of town, people are very curious about what you're doing.
Important delivery coming through.
On your way out, as you're getting to the edge of town, you pass the house of the spinster, who opens her window and pops her head out and says, "Beware the forest! Beware the dark spirits of the forest! Beware the Plorfolite!"
Autumn shakes her head. She's like, "The forest is fine. The forest is fine. I'll be guiding them."
Okay, but beware. She closes her window. So you guys get into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So since Autumn is guiding you, let me get an overcome action from Sam. So, Sam, if you look at your approaches, this is pretty open. You can basically describe how you guide people through the forest, and like shamelessly tag it to your highest approach, or if you would rather say like, well, she's actually doing this like very carefully. It doesn't have to be your highest approach. We're just kind of looking for a positive role here.
So while my highest approach or highest tag is quick, I think I'm going to actually go with careful, which is just one lower, because I just think that makes more sense.
Sure.
So given that we're hauling a big cake, she's going to just try to like look for smooth terrain, point out any roots or rocks that people might trip on, and other like critters or holes or things to avoid, and trying to get the best path that will avoid hazards.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to say, you guys have a line on your character sheet that says current fate points. You can make that 3. So basically, you guys have 3 unspent fate points right now. So Sam, go ahead and roll 4 fudge dice and add 2, and we'll see how this goes.
I have 3.
Nice.
So
it does quickly become very clear that the ranger knows what she's doing. Perhaps even Autumn herself is surprised at the fact that you are having to navigate the forest, keeping in mind that there is a giant box that's carried by 2 people that don't know much about the forest. And you're actually doing a pretty good job of preventing them from tripping over stuff or falling into a ditch or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. The forest like immediately around Hopleton is like bright greens and flowers, and a lot of sunlight comes through. But the farther you get away from town, the darker it gets. Just much more deeper green foliage, brambly bushes and trees that choke out the light, and a much more tense atmosphere as the sounds of frolicking squirrels and birds give way to the sounds of who knows what.
That one bird that goes wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, it's like classic movie soundtrack. There's like a kookaburra, there's like a
howler monkey.
A howler monkey, bullfrog, just
something we're
just
pretty
go down
sure
the
is
list
an
of
elephant. No one's
standard.
entirely sure.
Well, I know more
Wilhelm
about
Scream.
So I have the aspect knows more about animals than about people. So I might try to actually like identify the animals in the hopes of that being comforting to these people, other hoplets who are not as familiar with them, so that they won't be nervous.
Okay. It's well, I suppose it's up to each of them, but again, the deeper you get into the forest, the scarier the animals get. If you're pointing out is like, oh, that's just a coyote. It's like, oh, that's
yeah, that's still
pretty scary. Yeah, it's like, oh, those are just razor beetles. Or oh, that's
Don't
not.
step on
Don't
them.
worry. Yeah, don't worry, guys. That's not an animal. That's a ghost.
Barry seems somewhat oblivious to that kind of stuff because he's too busy trying to describe to Clyde how the baker made all of the roses on the cake. Oh, the baker used buttercream and put it in a piping and squirted it in such a way. Oh, it is so fantastic. And now, because I'm studying underneath him, I get to, the next cake, get to put the flowers on myself, Clyde. It's so exciting. So exciting.
Meanwhile, Clyde's looking around trying to entice some random woodland creature with some baking goods he pocketed earlier to basically try to come and stand under the box to relieve his load.
Okay. Give me why don't you give me an overcome action and see if you manage to do that.
All right. Would this be could be considered a clever action?
Yeah, if you can do it cleverly, certainly.
All right. 6. Wow.
Wow. Nice. Yeah, so definitely as you guys are walking through the forest, up ahead you spot someone, and then you realize that someone is Clyde, who has like made him a little bed for himself on like some roots, and is resting there eating some baked goods. And then when Barry looks over, he realizes that a raccoon has taken over Clyde's spot and is carrying the box at the correct speed and everything, but it's also starting to like scratch and nibble at the bottom to see if he can get at the cake.
Oh, dear. My goodness, Autumn, there's a raccoon carrying this box.
Well, that's impressive, but you shouldn't be doing that, raccoon. Get you. And she'll toss like something at him.
Yeah, the raccoon takes off.
No, it's holding the box.
Yeah, who holds the box once the raccoon takes off?
And then she'll like grab it and then be like, Clyde, you had one job.
I delegated.
You can't delegate to raccoons. They're untrustworthy.
You seemed a nice enough fellow.
Their hands aren't very clean, though.
Does Clyde have like gloves with like the fingers cut out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe not all of the fingers cut out, but
You know they're untrustworthy. They have the little burglar masks. It's very obvious.
They
Come
can't
pick up the
help
box.
it. Okay.
I'm supposed to guide.
To be fair, one of the people back in town that Clyde gets along with the best is the burglar.
It's nice that the town just has a burglar that lives there and everyone knows.
Yep.
Always asking me so many questions about what people's are doings. It's good to talk to someone.
All right. So, unfortunately, as the raccoon runs away, he really kicks up a ruckus. And as the sound of branches and brambles being snapped dies down, there's another noise that replaces it, which is a progressively louder and louder buzzing noise.
Uh-oh.
What is that?
Indeed. Would I make like an overcome check to identify what that is?
Your last overcome check was pretty good, so you can just know that it's
Bees!
It's not bees. It's it's buzzy beetles, which are pretty aggressive. Buzzy beetles, they're pretty aggressive. They travel in packs, and they're a little heavier than a hoplet.
Mm.
So they're like golden retriever sized beetles.
Oh, fun. Are they likely to attack us?
Oh yeah.
Would it be best to fight them off or run from them?
You can try to do either, but consider that you're carrying a cake.
Fair enough. All right.
Okay.
Buzzy beetles. Oh, yes, Mystic, unleash.
I have a thing.
Okay.
I'm going to do a thing. Since I am the keeper of arcane knowledge, I'm going to cast a cone of force around the cake box so that nothing will be able to get into it.
Okay.
That's
I also have a thing.
Ooh.
Okay. Hang on a second, Steven. So you're casting a cone of force on the cake box?
Yes, but it's a glowing cone of force, and it glows green and then red and then purple. It's super flashy, he said, hinting broadly.
Sure. Go ahead and roll flashy. And then I don't think you have a stunt that benefits that. Okay. So a 2.
No, I don't think so. Unless forcefully put, and that would be forcefully, not flashily. Yeah.
Okay,
it might be book knowledge. I have right here on page 53 of the spell book. It says here, cone of force, flashing cone of neon force.
The cake
in the book
box has a cone of force, and you get. Technically, anybody does, but definitely, Matthew, you do get a free invoke on that.
Okay. Now, if we can just keep it from exploding.
So, as the sound grows louder, you guys realize that the buzzy beetles are all around you and sort of converging on you. And you're probably going to have to fight them off, or at least try to make enough of a wedge to escape. So yeah, Steven, you said you had something.
Yeah, I'm gonna. As soon as she said buzzy beetles, I want to use my quick wits to find out some knowledge or some aspect of the buzzy beetles that I might be able to use something in my pouches to scatter them off. I'm looking for some aspect of the enemy using my quick wits stunt and using quick as
okay.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll.
I got a 1.
Okay, with a 1, you get that the buzzy beetles have a strict pecking order.
Okay.
And you get 1 free invoke of that.
Is he the one that gets the free invoke of that?
He is.
Okay.
Unless he decides to pass it on to someone else.
Yeah. I will. So when do I pass that on, or how do I pass that on?
You can decide to, like, on somebody's turn, you can tell them, and
Okay.
they can get that invoke.
Okay.
Okay. So anyone else
is this
have?
the start of the encounter? Because I have a begin.
This would be the start of the encounter. Yes.
All right, so then I will activate Bond of Battle to put a temporary aspect on my squirrel companion, based on my past training. So let's say, since I know what Buzzy Beetles are, and they're aggressive, and I previously taught him how to all about them, and so maybe he has something knows weak points.
Okay.
So they can figure out ways to get under their armor.
Go ahead and roll. Do you have a roll that goes with that?
It doesn't say I do. It's just a stunt.
Okay.
You may roll to carefully put a temporary aspect. So what would I roll for that? Just anything?
Careful.
You'd roll careful.
Careful? Okay, cool. That makes sense. I've got 3.
That is a free invoke. And what was the
knows weak points?
Okay. That pretty much, so we'll say that can mostly be used by the squirrel and the ranger. But the squirrel has that now.
2.
All right. Anybody else have any start of fight stuff?
Okay. Fight?
There is now.
It's
got a bug on the board.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
All right, so 5 Buzzy Beetles come out, and the very first thing that happens is one of them is going to attack. But first, let's talk about the cake.
No, not the cake.
The cake.
Yeah. Okay, so the cake requires 2 PCs to hold. It adds +2 to careful and -2 to everything else. If you get hit, you have to pass the cake to someone else. You can pass the cake on your turn as an action. You can pass the cake on your turn without spending an action if you spend a fate point. You can take the cake on your turn as an action. You can take the cake on your turn without spending an action if you do it at the top of your turn. So basically before you act. Right now, I believe Autumn and Barry have the cake.
Yep.
So one of the Buzzy Beetles is going to attack Barry. Barry, you get a chance to defend here.
Okay.
So it's not like tagging any aspects or anything like that. It's just jumping at you with its mandibles.
I want to make sure that I'm holding on to the cake. And I want to be very careful to make sure that the cake box doesn't drop on the ground. I guess the aspect I'm using is careful.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I'll allow it.
And so because I'm carrying the cake, I get a +2.
Yep. So on top of that, are you tagging anything?
Am I tagging anything? I don't think so. I just want to make sure that I can dodge the attack and make sure that I maintain the cake and make sure it doesn't fall down.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do I get baking magic? Because I get a +1 to any roll that directly involves baked goods. And since I'm holding the cake, would that be a baked good?
It is. This one specifically, because you're trying to keep the cake from falling, would apply.
Okay.
You don't get it because the cake's in the scene. You get it because you're specifically doing something with the cake.
Okay. All right.
So yes, it would apply in this sense.
Yeah. I'll use my baking magic that I learned in the bakery from my fine the baker, and there's so many things going on in the kitchen that you have to be able to twist and turn and spin around, and sometimes employ a little magic to make sure things float just right. So I should be rolling 5 on this. My careful is a 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I should be rolling a 6 on this. My careful is a 3. The cake is giving me a 2. And then the baking magic is giving me a 1.
Yep.
Okay. I roll a 6.
All right. You very much succeed. Oh, you get a boost. So,
Yay. Remind me what a boost is again.
A boost is a temporary aspect. Basically, it gives you you have this like floating +2 to whatever. So usually it comes in the shape of something like specific, so you are able to dodge the beetle, and in the process you are able to also like maybe get out a tool from your belt or something like that, and that's
Okay.
going to give you a +2 to your next thing.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Do I need to describe what that boost is now, or do I wait until I need to use it?
It's up to you. You can describe it later.
Okay. We'll wait then.
Okay. So a bug went. Who wants to go for you guys?
I do.
Okay.
Raspberry actually disappeared as soon as the buzzy beetles started to come up.
Okay.
And would like to get underneath the lead one and hit that weak point. Sneakily.
Okay.
Can I? You said I had a free invoke, or was that just I had to spend a fate point to invoke the pecking order?
You get a free one.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and use that invoke to help Raspberry know that there's a pecking order in these guys, and starting with the top bug is probably the best bet.
Okay.
All right. So invoking gives a +1.
+2.
Should be a plus two.
I don't think I'm going to need that.
That's all right.
'Cause
Just
I'm
use it anyway.
Definitely invoking the nose weak point. And we can the aspects can be invoked multiple times, correct? Like me invoking a thing doesn't take it away from someone else to be able to invoke it.
Right. Those free invokes do go away, but as long as people spend fate points, they can keep invoking them.
Okay. Yeah. So come up underneath, find the weak point in the armor between the or their exoskeleton where their legs connect to the thorax. Thorax?
Okay.
Abdomen? Abdomen.
Bug parts.
I used to know these. And tear off a leg
Okay.
with a 7.
That's pretty high. Okay. So that's going to be 2 shifts. So we'll mark that here. So you hit it, and you're able to basically just like pop the whole leg out. But you know, he's got 5 more. These guys are a little bit tougher than they look.
Oh no.
Okay, so we'll have another bug go. That bug is going to go after Clyde.
Well, as Clyde kind of rolls over and sees that there's a big old bug coming his way, he'll kind of just reflexively like throw a loaf of bread at it and try to roll out of the way.
Okay. What would you like to use for that?
It's kind of my worst stat, but would that be a quick by the description?
By the description, yeah.
All right, we'll go for it.
Okay.
Oh, 1.
Oh, nice. Well, let's see what he rolls. A 2.
Okay. Oh no.
All right. So you've got 1 point of stress coming at you. You can fill up your 1 stress box. That's probably the best thing you could do in this instance. Yeah, your best option. So we'll start getting in more and more into what damage and stress does as we go. Hopefully, this will be all we have to talk about. Okay, who wants to go for you guys?
I'll go.
Okay.
Bugs. Why did it have to be bugs? Okay. So, question for you. My stunt says I can hex people, to give them
Uh-huh.
an aspect. Are those aspects up to me?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to target one of the buzzy beetles.
Okay.
Is there one that is particularly closest?
Two of them have like sort of broken their circle to attack. So
Mhm.
there's the one that attacked the baker and the one that attacked the layabout.
Hmm.
And the one that attacked the layabout, like he didn't quite manage to bite him, but he like basically like headbutted him, into a comical pirouette. I'm assuming.
Okay, which one was attacked by Raspberry?
That would be this one, the lead one.
I think I shall target that one.
Okay.
And what I would like to do is I will use my hex to forcefully put an aspect on this enemy. So it's going to be my forceful, but I'm going to get a +2. Do I get anything for cake, or is that just if you're handling the cake?
You have to be handling the cake.
All right. I am not currently handling the cake. But the aspects that I'm going to put on that 5-legged buzzy beetle, impaled.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and like stick it with like a spear of pure magical phlebotinum.
Okay. That sounds good.
Cool.
Go ahead. Go roll it.
I'm going to stab it. Crap. It's a 2.
Okay.
I mean, that's not terrible.
That's
Is that still a
fine. They
success?
don't really get to roll to resist that, so
Okay.
it's just gonna have that aspect.
And that aspect is going to hinder it? Or is it
Yep.
something that at some point I will be able to?
So this
Yes.
is like, so aspects are things that you can tag in your attacks. They're gonna give you a +2 or potentially a reroll, right? If you don't tag it on the way in, after you roll, if you don't like it, you can tag it to do it. You can't do both, right? You're either doing a
Right.
+2 or a reroll.
Right. Or I can
So-
I can increase difficulty for the bug, right?
That's true. You can also
So
tag it to increase difficulty for them.
So at any point, if the bug does something, do I have to call that beforehand?
You would have
Like
to call it before they roll. Yes.
So if the bug is about to bite the baker or the baker's apprentice, I would
Mhm.
have to call that. Okay, before the bug. Good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Yes, a magical spear of quintessential star stuff goes through the shell of the lead Buzzy Beetle. Which is going to lead us to Buzzy Beetle number 3, who's going to attack the Ranger.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So you're holding the cake, which gives you a -2 to everything except careful.
All right.
So you have to figure out what you want to do here.
A careful dodge of some form. So then, yeah, I'm going to try to, carefully, like basically use the terrain as much as I can to my advantage. So like coordinating with a little bit with Barry, like do like a kind of step back into some shrubbery, and in the hopes of like confusing him.
Okay.
The beetle, that is.
Okay. That sounds good.
So I make a careful
Barry's
roll
not
with,
confused. He knows what's going on.
So my normal careful is 2, and so with the cake I get another +2.
Yep.
Cool. Just making sure. Then I've got 4.
Okay. That will actually succeed with style, so you get a boost as well. So
Nice.
Not only are you able to outmaneuver the beetle, but you can maybe get yourself into an advantageous position or something. Just remember that you've got that floating there.
Cool.
Who wants to go next?
I mean, I can go next since I've got that floating.
Okay.
And you
but-
can pass
Sorry,
the
what-
cake off to somebody.
Yeah. So, who? I'll be like, Clyde, take the cake.
Okay. Grabs the cake.
All right. So, Sam, you have to spend, if you want to also act on your turn, you have to spend a fate point. to pass the cake.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So that takes me down to 2. And then now that I'm no longer holding a cake, I will basically I'm going to try to quickly dash around, trying to confuse the beetles. And so it's the impaled one we've identified as the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, I'm going to basically try to dash in and try to make it clear that I'm, challenging their leader for supremacy, and
Okay.
do a hissing buzzy beetle little noise of my own, and then try to stab it with my little knife that I have for fighting such nasty things in the forest.
Okay. And you want to do that with quick?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
And how does the boost work?
So it's just a +2. We can say that that the boost is actually that you were able to outmaneuver the thing and draw your knife in the same motion.
Cool.
So
I like that.
we'll just add it there. Yep.
So then it would be my normal quick +2.
Mhm.
Then I've got 6.
Okay. Well, that is definitely going to take out the lead buzzy beetle. It is now doubly
Hooray.
impaled, but it stops moving. The buzzy beetles have a quick buzz off and elect a new lead beetle. Yeah, we'll have another beetle go. Let's see. We'll say this new beetle wants to prove himself by attacking the ranger.
Yeah, it's legit. Well, now that I am no longer holding a cake, I'm going to quickly try to dart back into the cover that I had found before to avoid its mandibles.
Okay. This beetle is going to tag an aspect of the environment that you guys haven't really discovered yet, but the forest floor is uneven.
Oh no.
And so he's going to try to use that to his advantage in his
Okay.
attack. All right, so Sam, you have a stunt that helps you to dodge quickly, correct?
Yes, I have dodge roll, so I get a +2 to defend quickly.
Okay. I'll go ahead and roll that.
I have 6.
All right, you succeed with style, so you get another boost floating.
Sweet.
Who wants to go over here?
Am I the last one?
I think so. Oh, has Brian? Have you
Clyde
gone,
hasn't
Brian?
gone. No, I haven't.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Do you want to? I mean, I guess since I'm still holding the cake, I need to carefully reach into my pocket and pull out my packet of hot sauce that I carry and hurl it carefully into the jaws of the new lead beetle.
Okay.
And I want to use my boost on that.
Okay. Is this an attack?
I guess it's a careful attack because
Okay.
I've got to carefully hold the cake and throw everything. So I've got the careful aspect, the boost, and then the cake +2 as well.
Okay.
That sounds right. That would be a 5.
That would be a wait. How's it a 5?
Because I've
3 for
got
careful.
the careful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 3 for careful, 2 for the cake careful.
Okay.
And then a boost of +2.
Okay. I'm gonna say that this really being the first time that you've been in a situation like this, your intense need to not disappoint the baker is kind of working
Yes.
against you. So
no.
I'm gonna tag that for you to get up -2. You'll get an action point though
Okay.
at the end of the so
Okay, so
You're
I
back-
so I
you're
ended
back
up
to
with
just
a 3.
Yep.
Okay, but I ended up spending my boost, right?
yeah, you still spent the boost, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So if you hadn't spent the boost, you'd be working at a
Yeah.
+1.
Yeah. I'll stay with the 3 then. So it's a 3. Oof.
That'll be a 6. So you
miserable.
lob the packet at it, but you just have that second of hesitation, and it just kind of lands on its head.
Well, that is a sight to see. I look
Yep.
at Clyde.
All right, last Buzzy Beetle, and then Clyde, I believe. So
Okay.
the last Buzzy Beetle is going to lunge at the Mystic.
That's my favorite Cat Stevens album.
Yeah. How do you defend against that?
Let's see. What are my options?
Well, you can use any of your approaches as long as you can describe it.
Oh, I can use
If
any
you
of my
have
approaches?
specifically a defensive stunt, you could try and use that, but I don't think you do.
No, the closest I have is cleverly overcome an obstacle that
Mhm.
involves
No, that's not the same thing,
formalized learning. I don't think that would really be appropriate.
yeah. It does not, no.
I could diplomatize the horses.
Right.
So yeah, I don't have a defensive stunt per se, but I could do something flashy.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the bottom of my red and gold mystic robes.
Okay.
And I'm going to run away screaming at the top of my lungs in the flashiest manner that I can.
All right. Go ahead and roll it.
5.
Okay. It'll succeed with style, so you get a boost.
Oh, good. Just a floating boost.
And that's going to take us to Clyde, who is holding the cake.
Okay. So yeah, Clyde's holding the cake, finding these bugs particularly troublesome. He kind of looks around, spots a little pine cone, picks it up, and starts trying to breathe a little spark into it to basically create a little smoke bomb that hopefully when they're distracted, he'll lob over the top of the cake in the midst of them, trying to hinder them or make them sleepy or otherwise just make them less of a nuisance.
Okay.
Oh, do be careful, the layabout.
What would you like to use for that?
This be happening to be a sneaky way of using my slacking magic?
Sure. We'll say
All
that
right.
we'll say that the stuff you find is smokable.
Okay.
So it's like slacking magic allows you to like find things that like then prevent you from having to do anything. So it's like, oh, here's something that I can smoke instead of like going out and like buying some actual tobacco. So it's like you can do that and then sort of like repurpose it to make a lot of smoke. So that's fine.
Slacking magic is a fantastic name for an ability.
All right. Well, then me holding the cake will kind of counteract the bonus that particular stunt gives me. So I'll just be rolling my sneaky.
Can he add a fate point onto that?
He could if there was an aspect that he wanted to tag.
Would it be too late to add tag an aspect at this point after the roll? Or
I'd allow it since you guys haven't really been spending your points. So yeah, you can do it now.
Yeah, I think I can go ahead and tag works hard to not work hard if you feel that's appropriate.
Yep. Okay,
All right,
so that's going to put you at a 6. So that definitely succeeds with style. And you're trying to make this a scene aspect, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Smoky smoke to, obscure or otherwise hinder the bugs and be used to our advantage.
All right, so there are 2 free invokes of that floating on it.
And I'll kind of be like, well, if this is a good opportunity for us to get away, we could maybe take it. And I'll pass my turn.
Okay, we'll go back to the top of the turn order. Let's start with you guys since the Buzzy Beetles went first last time.
On critical
hit. Yeah. Who wants to go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
Because I'm running flashily. Are any of them wounded that I could tell, even though I've been running?
No, you guys basically ganged up on the first one and haven't. I don't think anybody hit anyone else, right?
There's a nice pack of hot sauce on that other one.
Yeah, there's a packet. There's a pristine packet of hot sauce on one of them.
Which one?
Let's
The new
say. Let's
The
say
spicy
it's this
one.
one.
I'm going
Yes,
to detonate
spicy.
the hot
Hot
sauce.
Spicy beetle.
Detonate the hot sauce. Okay.
I'm going to detonate the hot sauce using my Eldritch
Spicy
Flame.
beetle and scary beetle and posh beetle.
Baby Speedle. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to detonate the hot sauce on Ginger Beetle
Okay.
because Ginger
No,
is
that one's
spicy.
called John.
Shut up. Okay, so using my Eldritch Flame, and I'm being flashy. That means I get a +2 bonus from the Eldritch Flame. Can I
Yep.
use my boost?
You can use your boost. Yeah.
So that would give me another +2.
Yep.
So I'm going to detonate the hot sauce packet using the Eldritch Flame in a way that I hope will splash over to the other Buzzy Beetles and blind them with whatever the version of Sriracha used by Hoplets would be. Are you ready?
Okay.
Hop
Okay.
hop
Yep.
sauce.
Hop sauce.
Yep, hop sauce.
Oh, that's good. I love that. Eldritch Flame! 6.
Well, that's pretty good. The beetle is going to try to exploit the terrain to not get blown up.
Jumping
And
fish
it'll-
hooks.
Yeah, these guys are tough. Like I mean, you guys are tagging stuff, and that's good. But
We should probably
There's- there-
figure out some aspects.
yep. There's some smoky smoke on the board, and just gotta make sure that you guys are looking at everything that's available. But yeah, so that one, it just got singed a little bit, so that one's gonna jump on the Mystic. How do you defend
How did I
against this? When we'll have a point incoming for Matthew because it exploited the
point
terrain
incoming?
against him.
I think I'm going to defend forcefully.
Okay.
And I'm going to use a force field.
Okay.
Or something. Force shield. It's going to be round and square all at the same time.
Okay, that sounds good.
So can I exploit the smoky smoke?
Yep.
So can I dive into a pool of smoky smoke and throw up my force shield to try and both confuse and fling it away?
Yep.
Cool. I will try doing that. Hang on. Let me check one
Okay.
thing.
So that's a +2 to whatever else you have.
All right. So I have a +2 and I have a thing. And since this is a forceful defense, it's going to be another +2. And I think that's all I have other than just my regular fate dice. So, 7.
Okay. Well, you're gonna get a boost.
Oh,
So
can
make
I
a note of
have
that.
the shield explode
Sure.
right now in his face?
Yes.
Would it
It's not really like
dispatch him?
again, the boost goes to you, but you
Oh,
can
okay.
say that you've got it like that blasting it away gives you like confidence.
That's good.
Like you definitely just had like a you shall not pass moment.
Cow.
All right, who wants to go next?
Wouldn't be the bugs.
No, the bugs just attacked Matthew.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
So that was Matthew's defend.
Yeah, I know. I got confused because it was so flashy.
Yeah.
Can I try to use basically my knowledge of animals in the forest to find another aspect here? Like looking around for anything in the terrain that we can use, or like if these bugs have natural enemies that I might be able to like call upon or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So would I just that be? I don't know what would I be rolling there? Like careful or
Careful or clever if you think
my
that makes
clever's-
more sense.
my clever is pretty mediocre, so let's go with. I mean, I guess clever is probably the right one though too. So let's do it. And do I get a bonus for invoking my aspect of knowing about animals?
You can if you spend an action point. Yes. Sorry,
fate point, you mean?
fate point. Yeah, fate point. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Then I'll spend one of my fate points and just roll clever.
Okay, so you get a +2 to that because of the.
I only have one.
That's enough. What would you like to discover or do?
Maybe like what stirred them up? Is there like running for something that's going to start chomping on them soon?
Okay, so they're like attracting a predator.
Yeah. Which
Love
is, kind of like a whole different problem, but maybe we can escape into the smoky smoke while they're fighting it out.
All right. Let's go for another bug. That one is going to try to attack the baker's apprentice.
Tell me if I can do this. Knowing that there's a bug incoming, I want to. Would this be an obstacle? The bug attacking or no?
No, it's an attack.
Okay, so I'm going to need to be clever here, and I'm going to try to spin both the cake and Clyde around so that we kind of pass through the smoke. Okay.
Okay.
And in the so I'm going to use that smoky smoke as part of this, which is what, a +1?
It's a +2.
Oh, a +2. Okay.
Yeah.
And then of course I'm being clever, which is a +2. And knowing that this smoke, because it's got the pine, it was the pine cone. I know that as the cake passes through the smoke, it will add a smoky flavor to the cake that will only enhance everyone's appreciation of this when it arrives. So I'm also going to use my baking magic to know that this little ingredient will aid in this defense. And hopefully, no.
I appreciate that, but no.
Oh, boo.
Just because you name check the cake doesn't mean that you get that.
Okay. All right. But in the process, I'm hoping that because we're passing through that smoke, that the bug doesn't see the big rock on the other side and splats right into it.
Okay.
So if I'm doing this right, I've got a clever of a +2.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the smoky smoke, which is a +2.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm not being careful, I have to take a -2 away because I'm carrying the cake, and don't get baking magic because I'm magically infusing this cake with this smoky taste.
Right.
And I roll a 1.
Okay. Well, let's see what the bug gets. The bug also gets a 1.
Oh, so it's a tie. Nice.
It is a tie. I believe that means you don't take any damage, but the bug gets a boost.
Oh.
Okay. Take a look at your opponent's action to see what happens.
Bug boost.
No. If only I would.
So yeah, the bug goes through the smoke, and as you go around, Clyde finds that he has to lift up his arms a lot more to carry the cake because the bug has actually gotten underneath of Barry, and basically Barry is now sitting on the bug.
Oh God! No.
Who's next?
Clyde or Raspberry?
I mean, you haven't gone either, Stephen.
Oh, right. I guess I haven't.
Yeah, that was just your defense.
So, yeah, that was my defense. I'm gonna quickly hop off this bug and kick it in the face as I do so.
Okay, you're gonna do that quickly.
Yeah. So
you're gonna be rolling that at a 0.
Yeah, but I'm also can I use a fate point on this?
Yep, you can tag an aspect.
Okay, I'm going to tag my aspect of, if I don't get off this bug, I'm going to disappoint the baker.
Okay, sure.
And that aspect gives me how many?
+2.
2?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. 4.
Okay.
Boo.
Yeah, these bugs are
stupid
tough.
Stupid bug.
One who hasn't run Fate in a while might say perhaps too tough.
That's just yeah.
Okay. So we'll have another bug go, and this bug is going to actually attack Barry as well.
No,
They're sensing
that Barry
some
is
strain
like the
there.
weakest.
Yeah.
They're bugging him.
I'm gonna have
Go
to
ahead.
carefully avoid. I'm gonna have to avoid this bug attack and be careful by not dropping the cake. So I've got the +3 and a +2 for the cake, and I roll a 6 this time.
Okay. Let's see what they get.
Oh, nice.
Okay, you get a boost
Nice.
from that. Who's next?
I am going to grab the. Have we damaged any of the other bugs?
Nope.
Are we able to identify which one's the new leader?
Yeah, the new leader is this one. It's also the one that was unsuccessfully exploded. So I think it still has a packet of hot sauce on its head.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't eat the hot sauce, raspberry.
I'm going to grab that bug's attention
Mhm.
and try and pull it away from everybody towards where we're hoping the new predator is coming from.
Okay.
Would that be an overcome?
No. That you could either call that an attack and say that, if successful, then the new predator shows up and eats him or tries to eat him, or you could make that another aspect that you put on. So basically, like getting it out of position or something.
We'll go with attack.
Okay.
All right, and we're going to be quick about this.
Okay.
We're going to tag the attracting a predator, which still has a free tag, right?
Correct.
And then we'll also use a fate point to tag strict pecking order, since I'm going for the leader again.
Okay.
All right.
Actually, Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say nobody had used a free invoke, but they did. You did the first time around. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be a 4.
Okay. That's a 1. So
Yay!
okay. So yeah, definitely Raspberry gets the attention of the lead bug, moves it out of position, at which point a buzzy bug eater comes out of the forest and chomps it.
Hooray. Now, is this one of those Saturday morning cartoon predators that when it chomps it, it bites that hot sauce packet and then starts breathing flames all over the rest of the buzzy bugs?
No, this one's a connoisseur. So it actually, then once it's chomped, it just sits down where it is and starts licking its fingers. But it's still around because the aspect's still around. So
It's looking for
if
some
you guys
ranch.
can make other bugs appetizing, I guess. Okay. So that was
Sounds like some breaking magic. Toss some confectioner's sugar on one of them.
yeah. So that was Squirrel go. So the last Buzzy Beetle will go, and this one will attack Barry again.
Oh,
They just have
okay.
a good
Listen,
feeling about this.
am I still riding on top of that one bug?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to have to.
Oh no,
I'm gonna
you
have to
kicked it
slide
away
around.
from you, right?
Oh, right. Well, I don't think I did.
Oh, you
let me look.
you weren't successful. Okay.
I was unsuccessful and he got a boost out of it. Again, I'm going to have to be careful and try to, I don't know. Everybody's gone, so I can't call for any help from anybody. So yeah, I'm just going to have to do careful. Well, yeah, I don't want to. It's up to you, Brian, but I need to get off of this bug and I need to get away from this other bug and I need to do it as carefully as possible because I don't want to drop the cake and disappoint the baker. I will. Well, I'm just gonna roll my 2 carefuls: the careful from the cake and the careful from my skill to artfully dodge this oncoming bug.
Okay.
Which is gross, by the way.
Yeah.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. They rolled a -1. So
Yay.
you get another boost.
Yay.
And then last, I believe, is Clyde.
All
The
right, so,
layout.
yes. He's kind of watching this fracas and just kind of idly looking around, and he spots there seems to be a loose branch hanging on this tree overhead, one of the beetles. So he's going to try to kick out and to the tree and knock the branch loose and have it land on the beetle for a clever attack.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'll be at a penalty because I am holding the cake. So
You could just spend a fate point to put someone else on the cake.
I could. Who wants it?
I can take it back.
It's like a. All right. I will spend my second fate point to basically tell the ranger, here, hold this for me, and kind of plod on over to that tree and give it a solid kick. Oh, for a total of 2.
Oof. Let's see. No, that bug is very resistant to that, unfortunately.
I really wasn't trying hard.
Okay. I'm guessing that's an activation there.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to activate my power.
Okay.
Or stunt.
You can tell the guys what it does.
Okay. So yes, anytime I would fail a roll, I could declare I wasn't trying anyway and gain a +2 to my next roll. I can do that 3 times per session.
Hilarious.
I meant to do
Okay. That's going to take us to the top of the round, I believe. And this time the bugs go first. So this top bug here, the new leader with his boost, is going to try to take a chomp at the Mystic.
The
one that I'm
does not
currently
wish
on
to
top
be
of.
chomped.
Yes, the one that they're not very smart. So that one's
Okay.
lost track of where
Barry went.
where Barry is and is actually
Object
just trying to
permanence
chomp
is-
at, yep.
It's a
Just has
bug.
no idea where he went.
Just a bug.
He notices that there's a giant box and a ranger on the hanging off the front of his face.
Yep.
All right. So, on my turn, this is not my turn, so I can't take the cake without spending an action. I'm being attacked, so I have to defend. I don't have any defensive stunts necessarily.
Right.
So
I mean, you
I'm
could,
going
you know.
to. What
What's your top thing?
do you mean? What's my top thing?
What's your top
Approach.
skill or whatever it is?
Flash.
Yeah, your approach, yeah. Dodge with a plum.
Yeah, he's
Dodge
saying
with
he
a ball.
doesn't
Which is also
have
not a bacon
a
gun.
stunt. Yeah, he doesn't
Right.
have a
Oh,
stunt
okay.
that goes to defend.
And I don't necessarily have anything else that I can like cash in to be like a thing and a thing.
Yeah, you guys have created some aspects, but now they're all dry, so you have to spend action points to activate them.
It says here on my sheet that I have a boost.
Yep.
So I would like to cash in my boost. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm because they're clearly dumb,
Mhm.
like really dumb. I'm going to avoid being attacked by covering my eyes. So they figure that if I can't see them, they can't see me, and I'm going to make a big deal. Oh no, I cannot see them. Oh no. Very flashily. Walking in circles, trying to flap my hands around to see what's going on.
Okay.
Isn't that awesome?
And you're
Yes.
doing this as an attack?
No, I'm doing this as a defense for being attacked. They were
Oh, okay.
attacking me.
Right. That's okay. Yep.
I'm the Mystic.
I'll accept it.
Hi, my name's Matthew. I'm the Mystic. You remember me?
Yep. Go ahead and roll it.
How do you feel about Wah! That didn't work at all.
Well, that did not
Okay.
work at all.
They're not that dumb.
The Mystic closes his eyes, swings his arms around wildly, and gets a pretty good chomping on one of the arms. So you have 2 stress coming in when you look at your stress indicators down there, right? 1, 2, and 3. What you're going to want to do here is mark your 2 bar, right? So since it's
So
like
mild
literally a
concept.
Word document, you can just take that 2O and just turn it into like a 2X.
Okay.
And that means
So-
that your 2 stress box has been checked.
Right. Has my 1 stress box been checked?
Nope.
Okay.
Potentially what you could do is check your 1 box and your 2 box. But really what you'd want to do here is check your 2 box. We can get a little bit more into exactly how damage works as more of it happens. Okay. Well, good job, Bug.
Stupid Bug.
Who wants to go?
I guess since I'm on top of this bug, I might as well do something. Having seen the attacking predator come into the picture, how do I activate that aspect? I have to spend a fate point.
You would have to spend a fate point. You can also basically roll at it again to maybe try to give it more free invoke. So if you wanted to spend your turn like analyzing the predator, the Buzzy Bug Eater, you could.
I think what I want to do is kind of what Autumn had suggested, is to reach into one of my side pouches and pull out something that I think would be very tasty for the predator, and throw it on top of the bug, coating it with this delectable stuff. So that would be.
So you have 2 options. We can either call that an attack.
I think it is,
and you can tag the predator if you want, or you can put an aspect on the bug to make it delicious, and then somebody else can try to involve the predator. Okay.
Yeah, I want to put an aspect on the bug to make it tasty.
Okay, that sounds good. And what do you want to use? Careful?
Yeah, I think I want to use careful. So because I'm holding the cake, I get the +2 on top of that. And because this one definitely is baking magic, because I'm throwing the spices on, I'm going to add a +1 to that. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to use one of my boosts.
Okay.
To ensure that this goes through. Now, did you say I had to create an aspect, I had to spend a fate point as well, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, because you're spending an action.
All right. So I'm rolling my fudge dice +3, +2, +1, +2, which gives me an 8.
Whew.
Yowza.
All right. Well, that definitely is going to be enough. Let's see. You wanted the one that's the
one
lead
that's
beetle that is under you, right?
Yeah, the one that has the
current lead. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give this one 3 free invokes since you rolled so high.
Okay.
Dang.
Are we gonna get sued if we call it this?
No, probably not.
Okay. So yes, that beetle is in fact scrumdiddlyumptious now, ×3.
A Buzzy beetles taste like snozberries.
Yeah. All right. So next beetle is going to go, and it is going to go after the Mystic as well. How do you defend, Matthew?
That's what I'm trying to think of. Sorry. I was sitting here going, I'm a Mystic. I got to defend. Well, it didn't work last time, but that doesn't mean it won't work this time.
Okay.
I feel is famous last words. And do we have anything that I can utilize in our battlefield? We have the scrum.
There's lots of things you can utilize on the battlefield. Unfortunately, they would all require a fate point expenditure.
I can do that.
Okay. Then you've got your choice. The forest floor is uneven. The Buzzy beetles have a strict pecking order. There's still smoky smoke. There's a big old Buzzy beetle eater over there. So whichever one you want to use. Your box, the cake still has a cone of force if you want to use that.
I think right now there's still 3 bugs in play. I feel like that is doing force things right now. I kind of want it to protect. So if I spend a fate point, can I, since the last one didn't buy my bluff and immediately came after me to bite me, can I use that to my advantage and try and lead this guy into the mouth of the Buzzy Beetle Eater
Yes.
using reverse psychology.
Okay. Yes.
So, do I get a bonus for using the attacking a predator if I cash in a fate point? And what is that bonus going to be?
It's a +2.
A +2 bonus. Well, that's the same as every bonus.
Pretty much.
Anything
Trying to keep it simple.
else? Yeah, anything else that could be a part of this to give us more chance of not imploding?
Yes, but you have to spend more fate points.
I don't want to do that. So, what does this Scrumdiddlyumptious do? That makes them delicious.
That specific beetle is
Uh-huh.
delicious.
And that's not the one that's attacking.
That's not the beetle that's attacking you, unfortunately.
Okay. So I shall lure this other beetle into a trap by once again pulling my hat down over my eyes and making it clear that I cannot see him.
Oh no, I am blind. Oh.
Okay. I'm
This
excited
is how I
about
talk, by the way.
about this.
I am
Right.
too. I feel like this one has a chance of putting it off, and so I'm going to do it right.
7.
Wow, that's pretty good. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that succeeds with style. So you get another boost.
So, I may be dumb. but
So
I'm definitely not
basically,
stupid.
you cover your eyes and basically run at the predator, hoping that the beetle will go after you. The beetle just doesn't, because it's like, oh, there's a predator over there. And now you're kind of on the other side of the predator, who's still kind of licking its chops after
the delicious beetle.
the delicious beetle it ate before. So that's going to take us back to the party. Who wants to go next?
Can I go?
Go, Matthew.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah. Attack.
Okay.
Invoke that Scrumdiddlyumptious.
That's what I was thinking. So there's a Scrumdiddlyumptious beetle.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hex that beetle. I'm going to hex the beetle with a hex power to give it the aspect of...
You probably don't want to hex this one. It already has...
Oh, that's true.
I mean, you can like basically hex it.
Can I
and
hex
then
the one that
somebody
just attacked
else?
me?
Yeah, you can.
I'm going to hex the one that just attacked me.
Okay.
And I'm going to put an aspect on that enemy, and that aspect is... Does an aspect have to be brief, or can that
No,
aspect be...
It doesn't have to be brief.
The aspect is ready to dive down the throat of the Buzzy Beast Eater. That is the aspect. I'm going to try and utilize it to mesmerize the beast into thinking that it's going to get the cake, but in fact, it's leaping down the maw of the Buzzy Beast Eater.
Okay.
Because there's no way that making things overly complicated is going to bite me in the back.
Well, I mean, you really could have made it more complicated by saying, it finally learned the errors of its way and decided to go onto a trip. Right. So it went and worked really hard and bought a ticket onto the Titanic and sailed away, where it met a lovely person. You could have really
played by Kate
far down, but thank goodness you didn't.
something penny whistle, and it's really just a +2.
Draw me like one of your dirty beetles.
No, that's a stunt. I think the aspect is going to be never mind. So utilizing my hex and doing this in a forceful fashion. There's thread, and utilizing my boost because he just tried to Oh, Rodrigo, you're a funny man. All right, so I got all this, and I'm going to utilize my boost that it just gave me by trying to kill me.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll a 6.
6 is good.
Ooh,
that's 2 free invokes on this one. Okay. Then the last remaining bug will go. And that one's going to try to... Actually, this one's going to try to take a chump out of the squirrel.
No, not everybody's favorite raspberry.
Yep. And it has a boost incoming.
Oh, no.
This is the last one, which doesn't have anything tagged to it right now.
Correct.
Okay. We're going to try and quickly dodge out of the way with a little bit of a dodge roll.
Okay.
Did you make your roll first, or do I?
once you're done tagging stuff, we would both do it at the same time. So I'm only declaring the boost. So if you want to do something else, go ahead and tag it, and then we both roll.
Okay. So, well, this is going to use one of my stunts, which is dodge roll, which is a +2 to defend quickly. Plus my quick is 2, so it's 2 + 2s. Have we tagged Cone of Force yet?
Nope.
I don't think so.
All
That
right.
should still have a free invoke.
Yeah, we're going to invoke that and dodge underneath of the Cone of Force.
Okay. The Cone of Force is on the cake, so you're actually diving under the cake.
Yeah, we're going to roll from one side of the cake to the other while
Right.
getting the Cone of
Well,
Force.
the beetle
between-
gets hit by the Cone of Force,
Yeah.
hopefully. Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
Boo!
Wow.
Wow.
4+.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Quadruple plus fudge.
Oh.
So yes. Raspberry dodge rolls out of that beetle's reach. The beetle runs into the Cone of Force, but then literally there's another beetle that is like right under the box. So that one takes a chomp out of Raspberry's tail.
So how does invoking for a reroll work?
You'd have to spend an action point.
Right.
And it has to be an aspect that hasn't been tagged yet. So you can't tag Cone of Force.
And I can't make you reroll, it's only me rerolling.
Yeah, I think it's only you rerolling.
Boo. That is such a good roll.
Good try.
It's a good idea, but yeah, I think it has to be your reroll.
I'm going to try and reroll because
Okay.
I
Spending a
broke
fate point.
even, so yep. Spend a fate
What
point
are you
and
tagging?
use the forest floor is uneven.
Okay.
Oops.
Oh, no. Worse.
No, sorry.
All right. I think with a reroll, you have to keep the second roll.
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
So you got 2 stress coming at you.
Yeah.
You know how to mark it and stuff?
Do I tag the 2 or do I tag the 1
Yeah,
and the
so you have 2 points of stress coming. Your stress boxes can carry that number of stress, right? So your 1 box carries 1 stress, your 2 box carries 2 stress, your 3 box carries 3 stress. What you want to do here, since you haven't taken any more stress, right?
2? Correct.
Yeah. So you would want to put it in the 2. If you took true stress again, you would have to put it in the 3, and then that box would be done, right? Because you couldn't. You could technically put it in the 1, but then 1 more stress would go to the 3, and then you'd be out of stress boxes. Right? It's a little complicated, but basically, each box can take that much stress. Any other stress past that goes to the next thing. So yeah. If you were clear and you had taken 4 stress, you'd have to basically do the 3 and the 1. Probably not explaining this super well. Who wants to go?
I feel like I can
Who's
go.
going to finally lead this beetle into the path of the Buzzy Beetle Eater?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But
That sounds like a Clyde sort of thing to do.
yeah,
Doesn't require that much effort on his part.
Yes. So what I was thinking is Clyde hunkers down underneath the cover of smoke, kind of crawls forward a bit, and throws 2 pebbles at, one towards the predator and the other one actually at the one that has a death wish, trying to get them both to turn around and hopefully lock eyes and charge at each other.
Okay. And that's going to be an attack against the Death Wish one?
Yep.
Okay. You're invoking the Death Wish?
Yes.
Okay. That sounds clever if you want it to be clever.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for. So I will go clever plus the Death Wish, and I got a +2 from my previous
Right.
And 7.
Okay, let's see. That'll do it.
Yay.
Yep, that's going to take it out. So the beetle charges the Buzzy Beetle Eater, and Buzzy Beetle Eater is kind of like weirded out by it, but he'll still like smash him and then like eat him.
Yay.
All right. Who else? The beetles have all gone.
Did I go this round?
You haven't yet, I don't think.
Nope, you haven't yet.
Okay, cool. So I still have the cake. So I'm going to try to like carefully, actually like maybe even using the uneven terrain for my advantage, like navigate and see if there's anywhere like we can kind of like briefly hide especially the people who've already been pretty stressed out, while say the Beetle Eater takes out maybe the rest of these guys.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to like overcome, or either I'm not sure if it was to be an overcome or create an advantage, but basically I'm looking for like a hiding spot.
Okay. Are you trying to like? Are you trying to find like a way to escape the combat?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Considering there's like smoky smoke and we're down to 2 beetles and.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. I wanna see at least a 2 on a roll.
That's legit. Would this be what kind of roll
you can
would
do
it
it
be?
carefully. You can do it careful. Cool. It would be an overcome.
Then
basically trying to find a way out. So if you want to finagle that in some other way, you can.
No, careful plus my +2 from having the cake to begin with seems reasonable.
Okay.
I've got a 3.
All right. You find a way to basically a path into a grove of trees as the Buzzy Beetle Eater decides that it wants to eat the rest of the beetles, who all like buzz at him and like try to run away, but they're all very distracted, so you guys can find a way out and escape.
Hooray!
Yay!
I think we're going to take a quick break and a breather. We got to check the cake, make sure that it's not damaged or anything, and come back next time to find out how all this comes out. Will we deliver the cake, or will we eat it? I don't know.
I'm going to ruin some human's wedding.
Anyway, yes, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2022 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.